go into the draft here.
It's 10 o'clock on the dot right now.
Whoa, that's 10 out of 10 right there. Or at least it's 10 out of 12 as far as things on a clock. Let's do away with that whole line of thinking as we get into the draft. First ban, more archery, I guess, as there it is. The Varus going to be taken away. This time, Kiwoom DRX not going to be able to ban all of the archers, but they'll ban one of them at least.
I look at kind of how this series has gone so far. You look at the jungles that are gone. The Pantheon, the Jarvan, Lee Sin also removed, and the Naafiri. Means that I think a lot of this game is going to come down to what these matchups look like kind of naturally, as the jungle power might be a little bit weaker early on with all of these picks gone. So if you have a lane lead, it'll probably mean a lot. Picks like Wukong, for example, might be where we go in this draft, where you're less valuable pre-6. I mean, we were joking about the darkness with the feed kind of bumping there for a second, but he also could be picked, but there's no Orianna, there's no Aurora, so pretty unlikely. But he would also be another pick that is a weaker pre-6. Wait to see is the Akali. All right.
Well, that means Cassiopeia is going to be banned here. I'm just going to write that one down. Because there is no way that you are letting that one through. And so now, what has been left up, Wolf?
I mean, there's a few picks left, like the Azir in terms of mid lane picks that you'd ban Akali for, but we're not talking about mid lane right now. We're going
Lucian, Milio, Yunara, Lulu, baby. That's what we're doing.
That is definitely what we're doing. Since there is no Ashe, I'm trying to think of what, do you really want to play some sort of Ziggs lane here? I don't think so.
Draven Pike. Give it to me, LazyFeel.
No.
Draven into Lucian is that's a matchup that goes back, you know?
Give me the Yunara Lulu.
Oh, well, you know what, Wolf? You're gonna get it.
And then give me the Nami. And then probably Xin Zhao.
No, you're not gonna get the Nami.
I'm surprised Xin Zhao wasn't banned.
There's Milio. Milio's still there.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. I just was thinking about the old days.
Yeah.
I was thinking Zarya.
Oh, Renekton. So
they don't need to. They're not going to.
They can pick away the Lulu.
Lucian?
Haha. Okay. Renekton going to be the lock away. And so Rich on two champions that he very much enjoys back to back, but it does give them less flexibility as they move into their final pick because it will have to be the Lulu. This Milio going to be taken away, and now there can be a reaction to this Renekton if they'd like to, or they can just take the Xin, which is going to be locked.
Yeah, they didn't get the Nami because that doesn't make sense. And they get the Milio and the Xin. And Renekton here for Rich with the Lulu. There's a lot of power. The Renekton is also empowered by the Lulu. Alongside whatever jungle they get, we'll probably also be trying to lean in that vein. We don't have jungle Ambessa anymore, but she was one of the biggest enjoyers of the Lulu pick.
Yeah, we don't have the Naafiri either, because that was played in the last game, so
the
options
Sion
for the Lulu are less.
I'm kind of surprised about the Sion ban, because if they picked Sion, you could pick Trundle, and that would solve your jungle problem. And also, you have the damage to cut through the Sion. So that one is a little bit perplexing.
Yeah, and also Trundle is kind of good into Xin Zhao as well.
Yeah. Like, I feel like that was a blunder, but the Wukong I mentioned earlier, which is very strong with this composition, will be taken away. So that one I like more. I like that ban.
Well, I think a Vayne might be banned or something like that. This Renekton is certainly still susceptible to things like that towards the top side. Clear, certainly, with a bit of an eclectic champion pool, would be very happy to play it.
I mean, once the Gnar and the Cassante are gone, you do feel really good if you can take away that last range top.
Oh,
this Jace,
one of them.
A little bit more volatile, but certainly can win the lane into the Renekton. So, do they want to play Vayne with a Lucian comp? It's a little risky.
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, you do have a pseudo-tank with your Xin Zhao. Can use a Crescent Guard and stuff like that, avoid a fair bit of damage, as the Nocturne is going to be the ban away. That is a good combo with the Wild Growth. Do not mind seeing that.
Yeah, that's gone now. And it was the pre-6 week jungles that we were talking about.
I mean, Trundle is still a thing.
It still could work, even though there's no Sion. Like, yeah. I do agree. Jax jungle is one we haven't seen really all too often recently.
It has an ability to close distance and
it's good into
be
Lucian.
Next to things.
Yeah.
All right. I kind of like this.
100% win rate, by the way.
There you go. That's probably a sample size that I also enjoy.
It's like 3-0, I think.
Oh, 3. That's more than I was expecting. Okay.
Rich is one of them.
All right. There you go. But in the jungle, maybe even less of a sample size as the Ahri is.
We're going all in on killing
VicLa.
LazyFeel with this composition. If he dies, they die. If he doesn't die, we lose.
Yeah, I think that might be an issue here. As Ahri locked in, and now what is going into the top?
Ooh, Shen, I like this a lot.
We are denying auto attacks all over the place
and
in
we
this
have
game.
2 LEC experts on the desk.
There we go.
Well, maybe lose it.
Yeah, maybe Jankos can just like call Broken Blade and ask us to assess the Shen for us or something like that. As the Mel is the hover here for Ucal.
It's a lot of scaling here for Kiwoom DRX, but not a whole lot of frontline. But I mean, between the Jax and the Renekton, the engage you have, all you have to do is punish the Lucian when he goes in, and sometimes you can do that before the Shen gets on top of him to defend him and give the extra shield. They have a Milio for safety as well. I think that both comps are good. Obviously, they're both doing very different things. They are trying to, if you're Kiwoom DRX, get to a late game where the Mel and Yunara damage is very, very high, and you have enough damage output to just kind of overwhelm BNK if they can't blow you up instantly, which is difficult to do. And then for BNK FEARX, the plan is quite obvious. You're looking to get on top of the Yunara and kill her. Same with the Mel, but the Yunara is the real big problem later on.
Yep.
The deflect, the rebuttal ability, the value of it is basically charm in this game. So it's not that high value.
And fire kick.
I guess so, yeah.
Fire kick's kind of cool if you kick that one away because it just does a lot of things. So that could be a decent option.
I think that it's more about, like, I think when a lot of people think about Mel, that's the most in-your-face thing about her besides her passive. You're just like, what is he trying to deflect? But in this game, he's just trying to poke with range and do consistent damage before team fights. And then the cleanup is going to be there for LazyFeel. I like LazyFeel's Yunara. Again, he's a player who, out of the laning phase, has such a high skill ceiling. Like, I think he's just so incredibly good in team fights. This comp sets him up well. Just needs to make sure he doesn't get caught by all of this.
Yeah.
And they'll be fine, surely.
Yeah. I mean, it's Rise Group. Who knows what's going to happen? And that's the whole point. That's why we love it. Let's get onto the riff for game number 3. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the riff for the 3rd game of this series and the 6th game of the night. Treated to maximum value here on our final Wednesday of the regular season before MSI, as we do have a bit of a face check upon us. LazyFeel taking a fair bit of damage as he does barrier. Taeun gonna have to run away as they do get the heal, but he still has barrier. And so that means that BNK FEARX feeling pretty good about that little exchange.
Yeah, we'll get better for Taeun once level 2 is hit. And so they just need to get that as soon as possible and try to find that window here.
Blaze value.
Yeah, that's kind of rare to actually get something out of that, but
working quite nicely as the wave is going to get cleared out here by Kiwoom DRX. They should have level 2 first.
Pretty smartly played by Taeun, knowing that as long as he just kind of walks out of the queue from LazyFeel there, he should be able to do just fine.
They are going very aggressive. But level 2 is going to be hit very quickly here.
But I do feel like if a fire kick lands, Taeun just goes berserk, right? He pops his barrier, he goes in, he tries to focus down LazyFeel as soon as level 2 is hit. Obviously, they're not going to have it first, but there's an angle here where after this wave is cleared, when the waves reset and crash to each other, that Kellin could find that angle.
Cool. A little bit of action here in this mid lane as Ucal does look for a snare that he does not quite find. Both of them sitting at pretty high health. But the Mel just happy to scale, as you've mentioned already, as Taeun takes a fair bit of damage here. Does use the barrier, but is still going to lose out on the trade quite considerably. And actually, for Yunara lane, this feels fantastic.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened right before that, which is arguably the more important part, but barrier value very low as Taeun tries to dash through a fat wall.
Yeah.
Strange. Taking a look at some of these win rates, Ucal played the Mel early. He was an early adopter, but hasn't played it that much since. LazyFeel, one of his most played on the Yunara here at 9 games. Well, like I was saying, pretty comfortable for him on this pick.
And able to avoid a fair few of these piercing lights. Definitely going to be a big part of what helps you in this lane. Doesn't avoid that one, though, so we'll take a lot of damage. And Taeun finding that little thread the needle. As
Here
the
comes
circle
Willer, though.
value is low. Now you've got the Jax making his way in. The flash in. Flash Polymorph pretty powerful as they get on top of Taeun. And Empower is enough to secure first blood for Willer.
Massive win here. Even though they had to use 2 flashes to do it, it's absolutely worth. And now Taeun is in a bad spot in this one as Kellin's going to try to stop this back. Unsuccessful.
Oh no, the fire kick just hitting the air. Very unfortunate stuff as Rich is going to move on down. Oh, that was a little bit scary, but Raptor not going to have to worry about the Renekton. He doesn't have ranged abilities.
Yeah.
So Kiwoom DRX looking in like they're in a pretty good spot for
Look
this
at how
early
low
game.
LazyFeel goes, but they set this all up so that Willer could come over here. There is vision, but it's too late by the time he's seen. They're way too far up. There's no flash for the Lucian. And LazyFeel buys a cull on his return to the lane.
Rich is winning in farm, but I'm looking at the health bars, and I don't feel like he's winning all that much there in this top lane.
Because he's going to press Q and get a lot of health back. As you can see, like that changes in about 2 seconds.
Yep. Ruthless Predator is largely what you want to be negating here with the Spirit's Refuge of the Shen. But otherwise, you just do a lot of damage with your empowered Qs. Titanic Hydra, a lot of value here for the Shen.
Yeah, that's the common build.
I imagine if you are a LEC watcher, then you probably know all of this, but we don't get him all that much here in the LCK.
We also don't get a whole lot of Doran's Helm on Renekton. As Rich has pulled out that new buffed item here.
Pretty good when you get artificial health from the from your ulti.
Yeah.
The Dominus. I kind of like the idea. I think we have seen it once or twice before on the Renekton. Might have been in the Road to AWC over the last couple of days.
Hey, LazyFeel is just trying to send them a bit of a message here once again. Raptor shows up, though.
Yeah, nice sidestep there from Willer. Doesn't get hit by the Wind Becomes Lightning, but both junglers are looking to exit. Willer having the inside track is a little scary here for BNK, but LazyFeel and Andil still catching some piercing lights. LazyFeel needs the extra movement speed from the Whimsy in order to get out of the way of that. So, BNK FEARX get control of the wave, and we'll see whether they are going to try and transition this into a dragon. First one being a Hextech Drake means that we are at the mercy of a potential Ocean or Chemtech.
That is true, as they're continuing to try to apply this pressure down here on the bottom side. LazyFeel took a lot of damage from the last trade.
Oh, that's a lot of Q damage. The flash in, but it's not enough to get the execution.
I think one more auto would have done it. It's just not enough.
Oh, Willer actually over here, but Andil taking a lot of damage. The counter-strike to try and protect the Lulu, as Rich is also roaming all the way down. They do take out the Jax, but let's see whether Rich can get the work done, as Tane's in a lot of trouble, but it's a double kill for the Shen. He turns up with his ulti, and even though Rich had roamed all the way down, he gets no value.
Rich trying so hard to turn that fight, the power of this early Renekton, as Kellin is... Oh, that's the most rude way he could have interrupted. He could have just, you know, sent it from the bush there and stopped him, but instead he's going to walk right up to his face. And then...
Very annoying.
Also stop his back.
Well, now BNK have a 1,000 gold lead.
Yeah, that fight wasn't supposed to go as well as it did in this early game. As when you look at this setup initially, like, Andil takes so much damage, he has no mana also. Willer ends up, as soon as the counter-strike is done, he's done. Like, that's all he has, right? And the Rich is here, and it's like, okay, Renekton should get a lot of value here with his ultimate, but they just kind of avoid him, push top, kill the Mel.
And VicLa didn't go back.
Yeah, no, he didn't. He stayed, and then he came over and surprised them. And, like, a few things could have gone differently there, right? If they were all together faster, or if Ucal was able to do a little bit more damage there, if he had a little bit more time. But they kind of felt like, okay, we're not the ones starting this play, but we got to quickly react and get in here. Otherwise, we're going to lose everyone. And then they send everyone into that Renekton play, and it just doesn't work out. It's very close to working out, but the end result is a near 1,000 gold lead here for BNK. It was volatile, a very, very volatile fight. I can understand the thought process. Like 100% initially, I thought Rich was going to be able to do enough there, but it's just not meant to be.
Not enough. And also the fact that Andil had to get out of there very, very quickly. Willer had to use an early counter-strike very defensively. It wasn't exactly the way they wanted these fights to go. As Taeun and Kellin get another wave shoved towards this turret. It should be plate going over. And with all of that crystalline overgrowth, they definitely will be able to claim it, as the Slurkle is not able to stop Taeun from doing a lot of damage to Andil here.
Should be crystalline overgrowth and a plate.
Surely?
Probably.
Right guys?
It's kind of risky always when you walk that far forward.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to do it. Respecting the polymorph potential of Andil here.
But eventually, these minions will start whittling away. They have a lot of pushing power right now. And both junglers are in the area, but still very difficult into this Milio to try to make something happen for Kiwoom DRX. So I think that plate should go over, but I guess not.
Not yet. Certainly not going to make it to the turret on this wave, as we do see a bit of aggression here from VicLa. Ooh, able to sidestep. And Ucal is
by the way,
actually
Raptor
looking kind of fine.
Coming over a little bit late, trying to look for something.
Yeah, LazyFeel actually getting the Arc of Ruin down, as now Taeyeon looking a little bit more healthy with the help of Kellin, as Andil just barely survives.
Trying to run away here. Raptor does not have flash.
Yeah, but still able to audaciously charge the minion wave to get the flash out of Andil. LazyFeel, the only one with a summoner spell in that bottom lane for this KRX duo. And the fire kick is in fact going to annoy him. Ucal now having another shot as he does push back the Q, but once again, VicLa just barely survives and just walks it off.
Raptor's up here too, so I don't think they should try to push this any further. Although, as a Mel, you know, when you get to that point where you're like, I think I just execute him with one more auto, it's very tempting. We'll back away. And even though it did not happen the first two times that we were suggesting maybe that plate would go down, Taeyeon is able to get that first plate finally after that play there from Raptor, which gets the flash out of Andil. Very successful gank there. And this Lucian is starting to pick up a significant lead here. As we're watching this top lane where we're just having a decent time so far. The Shen mastery not that high for a lot of our younger LCK players because he just wasn't meta.
Yeah, hasn't really been a thing for quite some time, so Rich, with the knowledge of the matchup, feeling pretty good at this point in time.
Yeah, Rich has played a lot of Shen games himself, actually, but I'm not trying to say that Clear doesn't know how to play Shen. I'm not trying to take anything away from Rich, but does feel like in a lot of other regions, the Shen does a little bit better than how he looks in lane here. It's more about his, you know, ability to warp team fights that we found a lot more success in the rare circumstances where the Shen is played not as support by Lehens.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, we see a lot of Shen, mainly because of Lehens. Just
Leshens.
Leshens, indeed. I think Carrier also played a fair bit of it more recently as well. But VicLa is going to be able to get the rebuttal out of Ucal. Definitely a very long cooldown, as we can see. But he will just be clearing out minion waves. The Mel will still be absolutely fine. The culling is just going to be thrown into Andil here to soften up this bottom lane from Kiwoom DRX. They still have wild growth, obviously, so they should be all right. As Willa comes on over and finally finds this control ward, which he will be able to eliminate. And another plate, I think, going to go over to BNK.
Yeah, he's just so oppressive. He's just like, no, you guys can't back there. I'm going to waste even more of your time. I'm going to deny more farm.
Oh, really nice rebuttal there from Ucal. Orbit Deception value relatively high. As VicLa takes a lot of damage once again. The Spirit Rush comes down, and this time he dies.
I just don't fully. We're gonna have to watch that one again. We're gonna have to watch that one again because VicLa gets Orb of Deception rebutted.
Yeah.
And then just like charms a cannon minion and then tries to fight and doesn't have his buttons.
Well, that might
health,
explain the example of what happened.
Okay, we're just not even going to watch the...
All right, that's because there's a little bit too much fighting happening down here towards the bottom side. Crescent Guard to try and split up the fight as Willa just flashes over the far wall. There's a great taunt from Clear, though. Locks down the Lulu. And even though Clear is losing lane pretty considerably, I mean, in team fights, he's looking real good.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying earlier. You know, it's the Shen that shows up, not the Shen in the 1v1. That's the scary part, as Rich is also going to find out about the Titanic Hydra Q again.
Yep.
But
playing Shen is kind of like parenting, isn't it, Wolf? It's mainly about showing up.
Yes. And trying to convince your daughter to put the diaper on correctly.
As LazyFeel, unfortunately, just going to get taken down by Taeyeon here, as there was another potential fight around the dragon. That one goes over to Kiwoom DRX, so at least they get that. But their main carry now dead for the first time, and Clear getting some work done in this top lane.
Maybe he should rename himself to Wave Clear. As like he ulted into the fight and then TP'd out. He's like, my job here is done.
And you know what? Don't blame him.
As you see, initially, it looks like, okay, this could be a good fight here for LazyFeel. Andil has the wild growth to try to defend it, but they get in here. They have the man advantage. And in this moment, LazyFeel just...
He just wanted to be with his friends.
Yeah, he wanted to rejoin, let's just say.
Clear also wants to be with his friends, but none of them are here as the, yeah. That Shen was never going to survive. He was in his refuge for a few moments, but unfortunately that isn't permanent.
I believe a small shutdown goes over to LazyFeel as well with this play, so they'll put a dent in the gold deficit that he found himself in.
Yep. Also does have his cull cashing in about 24 stacks, and by about, I mean exactly. Now 23, and if we continue counting, it will continue to go down as these minions die.
True.
So he will be able to get that extra bit of gold. It's game 6, everyone. Sometimes I get distracted by things in front of me.
Okay, so watch this. Okay, he was just trying to, I guess, set up a proxy and then found out that the lane swapped.
The bad guys arrived.
Yeah. He did a little bit back, but that's all. VicLa is not having a good game.
Yeah, that is just trying to charge the passive there with the rebuttal. Ucal is able to push him away once again. Feels like this Mel into the Ahri is working, despite how things went in the earlier stages of the game. Got that solo kill, and now he's off to the races.
So LazyFeel going to clear this wave, getting closer to that cull cash in. I think how this game is looking like it's going to go is when we go to putting Taeyoon in the mid lane right where he is now, and they're just trying to push for those advantages. How well Raptor and VicLa can set up Taeyoon for success to take the lead that he has right now and end this game early. And I don't mean like the next is for 26 minutes, but they need to turn this 400 gold lead into like a 3,000 gold lead by 25 minutes. And if they could do that, which their comp is set up well to do, I would say that they're in a position to win this game right now. But if they can't, this lead is kind of finicky and kind of small.
Yeah,
in this game, and Ucal is becoming a bigger problem minute by minute.
And if I was to sort of assess these compositions based on your Kizaja rankings, I would probably say that Kiwoom DRX are feeling a lot more comfortable in that regard, right? Like a lot of press R synergy does belong to them. And just allow LazyFeel to get the carrying done, and that's exactly what he's starting to do here as he throws down the ulti in the mid lane. Not going to get a massive amount of value, and Taeyoon does still have the culling, so it could be a little bit of a rough time. Use the last little bit there. Get that Arc of Ruin down.
We do have a potential collapse here onto this Mel. They don't commit. Willer blocks them, and so they kind of back away. Bit of a mini K-Ram almost in this game right now we have with our junglers just hanging out with the AD carries.
Yep, Andil has to tank up a culling, and that's actually going to do a lot of damage. Now Willer in a lot of trouble, gets wild growth as VicLa's making his way in. He's going to help Taeyoon lock down that kill, and the rest of them do back away. Rich is in, like, dire straits down here. Does have to flash away from Clear. Clear just going to have a flash advantage now. The Renekton was doing so well. He is still over 30 CS ahead.
Yeah,
and now considerably loses a trade.
Yeah, losing that trade again. And on the top side of the map, I mean, this is going to be the Herald going over. And like Clear is just going to grab another overgrowth proc here. He's doing so much damage to this turret. It's a massive wave. Rich is going to try to engage on him. I don't know if he should.
Yeah, the empowered Titanic Hydra hit is just so much damage.
It's so much damage. And, like, the minions just don't last. As in this play here, you know, I said it's basically a 3v3 from the bottom lane, just moved into the mid lane. And they explode Willer here.
I mean, Willer's Counter-Strike did absolutely nothing.
Yeah. VicLa's like, I'm helping! Ucal's like, you still can't hit me, by the way.
Oh, we got another fight as Taeyoon does get cleansed. No polymorph value there from LazyFeel and Andil, but the big shield from the Shen will come in as Ucal tries to rebut the taunt. And Clear is going to get caught in a weird position. The Melsplosion comes through, and oh man, if KRX win this game, Ucal is going to have some heck of a celebration.
He's also going to have probably unanimous POM votes as we're going to see the Renekton TP as the Ahri was about to take out that turret. Would have been first brick if no resources were given there, so I think the right call for Rich to protect that money. This game is very close, but I think it's starting to become very Kiwoom favored, despite the gold deficit right now.
Is that the tempo vibe you're feeling?
I'm feeling it.
I mean, I don't have a feeling about the tempo vibes right now, and I normally do, just inherently, but this time, not so much. As Clear doesn't have the ulti available, and BNK FEARX is going to have to stand united without him. As Ucal just throwing some buttons around, it looks like this Drake should be going over to Kiwoom DRX with the amount of control that they do have. But
there's the Herald drop here to try to get prio during this Dragon. This will be a big challenge here for Kiwoom DRX as to how they want to play this.
Well, they are just going to take the turret.
They're like, we like our turret more than Ocean Soul. That's not that great.
But actually,
they don't get either.
Kiwoom DRX are just going to back away from that as well. Man, this is some Rise Group macro right here.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
We don't want the Dragon or our turret, actually. Just get LazyFeel that safe wave right there.
Well, they do manage to at least do that. And Rich is going to show up looking for VicLa as Willa comes in. Does get the counter-strike this time around as the Ruthless Predator comes through. Ucal steals away the kill, and the Mel moves to 3-1. And now LazyFeel having to soak this culling. The Little Ants is going to be a bit of a problem there.
Doesn't have his turret anymore, so we'll just have to run away, which gives them a potential flank angle here, a bit of a wraparound potentially for BNK, but there's a ward there, and
Ucal does so much damage, man, on this Mel, as that is going to be the Drake down to 3 health. No one was in range for a steal.
It kind of
feels a little lucky.
Doesn't it kind of feel like Taeyun, who just won that trade, could have collapsed in to try to contest the Dragon? They kind of just kept pushing.
But there's a mid lane to be pushed.
I guess so. I mean, they did push it.
There you go.
VicLa dies and the Dragon goes over.
And now Taeyun's going to be able to push it even quicker, because that's the name of the blades that he just purchased.
Ooh.
Yep, it's the Navori brand. Nicely done. But also there is 2 items on LazyFeel as well.
Wait, isn't it a flicker blade, not a quick blade?
Oh yeah, the flickered Navori flicker blades.
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be quick blades.
Yeah, now they're flicker blades. They're no longer quick.
That's probably why he pushed mid lane, I think. Because he should have quickly rotated over, but he had the flicker blades on his mind.
Yeah.
And needed to flicker towards the mid lane, I think, is what you need to do there. What even is a flicker? It's just turning things on and off real fast.
Yeah. Right? It's like when the lights kind of go on like in and out.
Like when a toddler learns about a light switch.
Or it's someone who plays that old Master System game Flickies, which I really enjoyed quite a lot.
Yeah!
Where you like jump and then the cats go like, wow, and they fall
What I
over.
really like, Wolf, is your very relatable references that you make to stuff that everyone has experienced.
Everybody
in
knows
their lives.
Flickies, come on. Go play it right now.
Definitely do not know that at all. And I'm quite old, you know, I probably...
You know the dun 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 dun.
Well, I do know that song. I didn't know that was from Flickies.
I don't think I did it right. I don't think I did it justice. I think that just sounds like a generic sound that could be anywhere.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like my dishwasher just...
In my head, it's the Flicky song. It may not have translated there, but...
All right. Well, let us know on Twitter if you like Flickies as well. Leave a comment, maybe, on the VOD. Okay.
I do correct myself. It was originally an arcade game, I believe. But
there you go.
So... The game state here, let's see if Kiwoom DRX can kind of get out of the hole they are in right now map-wise. Like, they don't have any map control. That mid-turret value that BNK got earlier is so powerful, right? They did give the Dragon over eventually, but...
Oh, this is a possible angle as VicLa looking to try and turn it around. Willa taking a lot of damage. Yeah, he's going aggressive because he has the backup from his teammates.
But there's no wave, and that turret is very healthy, so I guess...
It's fine.
It's totally okay.
Yep.
I think there's a one way to kind of boil down the way this game is going, and way most of, I'll say all 3 of these games have gone to one way or another. You know, it's the nerves, right? The pressure of how much the stakes are in this game, trying to get that 6th place spot, trying to get out of the hole, right? Trying to earn the opportunity to play in Wonju. You know, there's a lot on the line here, and this matchup is against your direct opposition. They're dead even, 5-11, same game score, -10 before this series. So there is very much a tension to that, right? Like,
oh yeah.
I don't want to understate how you may be feeling very nervous if you're one of these 10 players, because it is very important to win this, but not the cleanest gameplay, and I think not as good as both of these teams' peak are, but we're in a game state now where BNK got that turret. They have this Lucian that's online. They've got the Ahri pick to set it up, but they haven't been able to find that much over the last few minutes. And this, you know, scaling Yunara, scaling Mel, starting to become potentially a problem that's going to be very difficult to deal with. I do think the Shen is another scaling element here for BNK, and the side lane power that he has can really help them secure these dragons, but they're down a dragon right now already, so that's going to buy a lot of extra time for LazyFeel in this game. I personally still got the vibes here for Kiwoom DRX. I think they're in the stronger position right now, but we'll see what BNK can do over these next few minutes, especially if they can turn this Dragon potentially into a one-team fight, into a larger gold lead. There's a lot of standing gold on the map. That bottom turret hasn't been taken. That top turret is also very low.
Yeah, I think getting Soul Point will be a really big deal here for Kiwoom DRX because BNK FEARX can really cheat tempo around the map. With the Shen, just creates sort of an easy mode with the Stand United up and available. You can see now Alone just pushing out in this bottom lane. Does have Rich coming on over now as Taeyun just typewritering over them. It does find a fair bit of turret culling value as the turret does go down towards the bottom side. Clear able to lock that one up. And that is going to extend that gold lead back to 1.1k. And now the Drake spawning in 15 seconds time. And you can see Kiwoom DRX have been pushed all the way out. It's really nicely played by BNK FEARX. This timing on the aggression is good, but LazyFeel goes in. Taeyun gets flashed on, and there is the ulti out from the Shen. They baited him so far in. And now Rich is going to show up. Let's see whether the Crocodile can get some value now as the Mel gets in there as well. And there is the Xin going down, slicing and dicing as Rich goes forward and pushes away BNK FEARX.
All right, so it's a jungler for an AD carry trade. That means there is a smite available here for Kiwoom DRX, but they don't have a lot of damage. Not necessarily consistent damage, but with the Mel and the prio they have, they are going to be able to take this dragon. It is going to be Soul Point. And so many resources were used to win that duel for Taeyun, and they just don't have them for the ensuing teamfight. This Mel is just getting so huge.
Yeah, Ucal is becoming a very large problem.
But like, so much of this this scrap was...
Look at the shield that Taeyun gets, by the way.
LazyFeel's like, I have this all-in angle. He's like, nice barrier. And the Taeyun's like, have you heard of the real wild growth? It's a big shield. It's a wild shield. You're like, whoa, that shield is wild. And then he can't actually push any further. And the Rich shows up. If Rich is actually here a little bit earlier, I think they might have actually been able to do even more in this fight as he gets a massive Q here. Yeah. And now they get prio on the Dragon. They're the ones with the jungler. And being so, Rich.
Yeah, Rich went from doing a lot of really good things to really having some trouble as Clear has finished the Dusk and Dawn. Raptor's going to move on down, and they are both a little bit frightened of what Rich is capable of. And he will back away safely. Still 40 CS in the lead.
This turret is so healthy. It only has one plate off of, which is crazy.
VicLa does have his ulti. He's going to have to use it here as he loses half of his health bar to the 2-item Jax.
I'm just still baffled by the fact that with how well this laning phase went for Ucal, it's just one plate only on this mid turret. They've had so much Lucian prio here with Taeyun that this turret is just kind of untouched. Pretty crazy.
It is collecting Crystalline Overgrowth as well. It just walks on over. Good old Trinity Force and Empower is going to mean that there is no way the Raptor was outsmiting that. And so no red buff allowed here for BNK FEARX.
No, not going to be on the cards. Clear, again, big side lane threat. Rich is starting to be able to handle him a little bit better here. He's just going to avoid the conflict at this point.
Yeah, does get the Spirit's Refuge up. But Rich just going to wait that one out. There is the Ruthless Predator.
Rich has Conqueror, which actually is a big deal in these really longer fights.
Yeah. And is actually trading out very well. Level 17 to level 15. And I know Clear is relatively close to leveling up again, but he just has left his lane so many times that Rich really does have a big lead.
It feels like both of these top laners have made really global impact, which is kind of bad news for the Shen, because he's the one who's supposed to have the edge on that. But Rich has been showing up big in team fights. Even though he's 0-0 and 2, a lot of fights that looked like they were going to be decisively won by BNK were kind of turned around by Rich. Even though he doesn't get kills, they're like, well, we got to leave. This Renekton's here. This is a problem.
And also manages to take this turret towards the bottom side as well. And Andil has to flash. VicLa is still looking for him. Gets the wild growth as well. Andil, that was beautiful. As Clear looking to make his way over. LazyFeel not quite out of it just yet, but does avoid. The wind becomes lightning. And now Ucal is going to try and get out of here. Dash cannons away. Wind becomes lightning. Going to miss once again. As Willa goes in, goes golden. And then has to flash away immediately as Raptor. Crescent Guard comes through. Rich. He is a very scary crocodile.
Time to get out. Time to leave.
Yeah, and they will just be able to exit. But Rich is just playing bouncer now, man. Like, he shows up, he's like the parents have come home, and the party's over.
Yeah, the party is over.
I made a lot of parenting references today. I really need to stop.
Yeah, well, it is, you know, part of our identity now, but...
That's true. We were double dads in that thing that we did a little while ago.
Yeah. Okay, so... Resetting.
Okay.
Baron... Now kind of on the table here for both of these teams. 3-item Yunara with Kraken Slayer. It's just going to chew through that Baron so quickly. I mean, look at the Mel items here. Death Cap almost ready. When Ucal has that, the Baron just goes so fast. Their turn is a little awkward, though, right? They have a Renekton and a Jax, but the Lulu isn't necessarily going to be able to set up a turn on its own. So you really have to feel like you have enough control, like maybe get a pick or push somebody low, trade in the mid lane with your wild growth, and then say, all right, well, Taeyeon has to back. We have a window here where we have enough damage to rush this down. But I think if Kiwoom DRX get this Baron, the whole trajectory of this game changes massively. Like, the gold is just straight up exactly even here at 20 minutes.
Yeah, this is crazy.
But with the Baron, they can actually get map control back. They can finally take that mid turret out, which they need to do so desperately so that Willer can actually do more than, you know, threaten flashes in side lanes. He wants to be able to actually get control aggressively.
This game really, like, I feel like at this point, we've probably like seen at least all of the outer turrets going down and maybe some inners have fallen, and we're trying to set up vision around the map and things like that. I feel like we're still in like a mid game that's been extended.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like in 14 and a half minutes in this game right now.
Yeah, right. Feels very weird. As there's the fire kick. LazyFeel doesn't like that. Dashes forward, but then the culling almost wipes him out. Wild growth needs to be used just to keep him alive.
Taeyeon is just frankly smashing LazyFeel in this game right now. He just keeps pushing him out of the lane. He's never able to cross the midway point. Even with Andil's help, he just cannot actually fight back at all.
And the Infinity Edge is done. Like, his item spike was pretty incredible at that point in time.
I mean, with that spike, I mean, Taeyeon makes him look pitiful as VicLa looking for a potential charm angle here with Raptor's help. I think they're not selling this very well.
This is Ocean Soul, as they do have their ward turned off. And now the teleport comes in. Rich turning up. Let's see whether Willer can lock down the smite, as they do have a control ward in this brush as well.
Can use the dragon to taxi onto the carries here.
This is a dangerous stay if they do decide to do so. As Clear looking to make his way in, but Ucal finds him down to 50% health, as now Willer is in amongst it as they do get the Orb of Deception down. The charm lands, and that is going to be the Drake denying the soul. Raptor immediately then dies, though, as VicLa throws himself into that backline at the same time, but Ucal takes out the both of them, and then the snare is going to land. Ucal should be able to get this one as well, as it's a triple for the Mel. Oh man, it's your solo queue nightmare as Taeyeon is trying to save it, but Rich gets on top of him, and Taeyeon outplays it. Now Ucal, can you do it? There's the Quadra, and Kellin eats some honey fruit and walks away.
Ah! It's Rise Group, baby! I don't know! Rich did so much in that fight.
Oh my god, Mel is such a prize group champ,
like,
man. Oh my god.
Watch Rich get in here and bait out the Milio ultimate early, and then they're like, we don't really have any other CC. And then Taeyeon is just like kiting away, but can't actually get access to LazyFeel. So LazyFeel gets a lot done here, right? Kites back, does a lot of damage. It's only when VicLa gets on top of him does he die. And it turns into this really janky 3v3 fight where Taeyeon has threats he has to deal with, so he can't actually get to Ucal. And Ucal's just slowly whittling away. And then Willer goes in here hoping to get Taeyeon, gets his flash, and the Rich gets this stun. And then Taeyeon is unable to avoid this Q here from Ucal. Watch this.
Oh,
Ucal is just
straight
like,
into it.
No, he's like, if you walk away, you're going to die 100%. You have to come here. I know where to place this. 7 kills in a Magi Soul Stealer. 100 gold lead, actually, sorry, 0 gold lead for Kiwoom DRX, but I feel like Ucal thinks this game is done, man.
Oh, yeah.
He's the guy who votes no.
I actually think
if they lose the next team fight.
Ucal might actually already have his feet on the table. Like, he might be squatting right now, ready to do his celebration.
He's mentally preparing.
Oh, 100%. He's actually probably discussing it. Might be why the macro is falling apart here a bit for Kiwoom DRX, but they're going to move over towards the Baron right now, as Andil going to speed himself up with the heal, avoids the culling out of Taeyeon.
This is not a safe Baron. This is not a safe Baron.
This is a Rise Baron, and that's a scary one, as BNK FEARX are going to move on over. Let's see whether Rich can find a flank angle, as VicLa is going to say not really, as they do get the wild growth, and Raptor is in a lot of trouble. Willer going to jump on top of him. Yunara already dead, though, as Willer goes golden at the weirdest time and finds himself a cooldown on his counter-strike, as in goes Clear, but he's mopped up by Rich, but he gets knocked up by the 3-talent strike, and then immediately the Xin Zhao goes down. The Jax follows suit, though, and Ucal is now the last man standing, really, because Andil cannot really help out.
But because Ucal's the last man standing, he needs to not walk up here.
Oh, wait a second. He knew it as well, as he finds the snare. The charm landed, though, as he flashes over the wall, looks for the Q and misses it entirely, and now VicLa is almost dead. Oh, the fire kick doesn't quite connect as the dash forward from Taeyeon, and he gets his revenge.
But
Ucal, yeah. Head in hands.
But, like, you just lost all your Magi stacks. You could have just played keep away for the Baron. They don't have a lot of vision there, but he could have played slower, waited for BNK to go over the Baron and been the best tool to deny. Instead, he thought he could get the outplay there onto VicLa, and it did not work out. And it feels like if he had his Magi's, we were talking about him already setting up the ceremony, but it all just goes to shambles. As in this fight, the Polymorph goes down here. Raptor, his taunt guard is so insane. The taunt is great as well. But Ucal isn't able to layer the damage the way he wants to here. It's just too risky. He's not hitting any prio targets, so he's not doing the work that's required for them to win this fight without a Yunara. And you can see here he tries to get the root onto Kellin, unsuccessful. He wants to get that execute, gets a poke onto Taeyun. And from here, I'm like, okay, well, maybe he'll wait a moment and then try to look for the deny on the Baron, but he walks up, invites VicLa in, thinks he can get the outplay here with the ultimate, thinks he has enough damage, but as you can see when the ult hits, he's nowhere close, and then Taeyun is just going to clean him up.
Yeah.
He knows it.
He does.
And we all do, and it's still a playable game here, but it just got so much harder. I mean, the gold lead that didn't exist before is now 4,000.
And it feels like those vibes have certainly gone back the way of BNK FEARX. As Ucal, Wind Becomes Lightning is going to be returned to Raptor. But not too much more going to happen after that. The Dragon, up and available in about 40 seconds time, and that will be Soul Point available for BNK FEARX, or a Soul if Kiwoom DRX can finally get over there, but I don't think they're going to be able to do so. And that gold lead is only extending. We mentioned before that not a whole lot of turrets had fallen down. Well, now a whole lot of turrets have fallen down, as Taeyun just going to push them all away with that culling. Charm is going to connect onto Rich as well. A lot of damage out of VicLa with that true damage.
Yeah, he's
returning.
Really getting a lot done. Just going to have to sit on this Mel wave clear here and try to survive for the next 90 seconds. I think losing an inhibitor is very likely. Almost feels inevitable at this point, but what can they do in return? Rich backs here. They don't have any great teleport wards. Like, there's a ward next to the Dragon Pit, but I think that one is just going over to Raptor here. They're going to use this Baron to guarantee that we go to 7 Elemental Drakes here, 3 apiece for Ocean Soul.
There you go.
But BNK just back away. No inhibitor goes down. The wave clear did a lot of heavy lifting here for Ucal. Does now have his Shadow Flame, which is a much more conservative item choice than the Magi's we saw earlier that he's now sold.
Yeah, I like that.
Let's wait and see what happens next, because I want to say, again, that BNK, like, they got the lead. They've got this Ahri that's super ahead now. I mean, like, down 400 gold, but super online because they have so much more map presence. They haven't fed Lucian. The Ahri has a ton more agency than she's had for most of this game. There's a Shen that can also protect her when she wants to go fishing for charms. And the Mikhails is the best recourse if LazyFeel gets hit by any of this CC. They're going to reset here and now try to open this base, as Ucal's going to TP after setting up that bottom wave to try to clear out this top wave. It's an inner that's under siege here. Yeah, this game looks like it's going to go on.
Yeah, well, it certainly is. Infinity Edge is now done, so there are at least 4 items on LazyFeel. He's not behind by as much as he was before. Just a PF sword, I guess, based on what they have in their inventories right now. But it's still 4,000 gold for Taeyun. He's probably sitting on an absolute fortune right now. As level 20 is hit for the Shen. And BNK FEARX have complete and utter control of this game.
They absolutely do. Willer is on the flank, trying to see if he can get access to the back line here. I think that's the best bet they're going to get. TP from clear into the bottom lane. Once they see him, maybe they spring the trap. It's a little bit too late. Willer doesn't, I think, see it in time there, and they back away. And they're just going to be happy that the Nexus is still alive. As this Baron fades away, they only lose 1 inhibitor. Maybe there's a path back in, especially if Ucal could start hitting some of these enemy champions. Right now, he's just pushing VicLa away, but his damage is sorely needed in the defense here of the rest of the base.
Yeah, BNK FEARX, I think, want to continue pushing here, which is kind of dangerous. As you mentioned, they don't have the Baron anymore. Probably going back for a reset could have been a good idea, as Raptor going to have to use a very defensive ultimate, and in the meantime, Ucal finds the ulti onto VicLa, who just explodes. Once again, it's a solo kill here for the mid laner on KRX.
I mean, if you look at the gold leads, it's only his. It's only him. He is the guy. It's him. He's him.
He is him.
He lost his Magi's earlier, but
I cannot wait. He's gonna do like a Misty flip off that bench.
I'm worried about, like, I think it's probably in his contract that he's not supposed to be doing stuff like that because it could injure him, but
it's all the more potent if he's ignoring his contract when he does it.
It just feels
right in front of the CEO as well, Kiwoom. It'd be absolutely gorgeous.
I mean, it is. We're setting up to have that scenario. Taeyun is under fire here.
Yeah, LazyFeel going in, but then he goes out. The Wild growth! Oh no, Andil sacrifices himself. Keeping the AD carry alive is definitely a good idea though, as Taeun takes a lot of damage from that Q from Ucal.
Ucal should be fine here. There's a pushing wave though.
Coming over to help out.
They just... It's funny how a lot of this game has been like Taeun just slapping LazyFeel down. It's really high contrast here for Ucal on his screen. I've never seen this before. As he just has a lot of damage. He's going to look for one more Q here. Gets the root, guarantees it. The ult comes through. Flash is bizarre.
Yeah, did he flash? He did.
Yeah, I think Ahri flashed there.
Yeah, well, a little bit of an odd move.
All right, this whole game, LazyFeel has just not been able to hold a candle to Taeun. Taeun is just obliterating him. And so he gets the kill onto the Lulu, and they get a little bit more control back. Inhibitor's up in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. And once that happens, I mean, we'll probably have a GA for LazyFeel at that point, and it's going to come down to one more Baron fight.
Well, the Baron is going to be up in 30 seconds as Raptor goes in. There's the Crescent Guard as VicLa now having to realize that there are a lot of bad guys there. Rich goes in as well and then slices and dices his way immediately out as the culling. Oh my god, the value as VicLa dives on top of VicLa and then immediately gets out of there. So many things are on cooldown now.
10 seconds until Baron. Can they actually get over and do this? Ucal has his ultimate. He has so much damage if they actually are in that pit. And
LazyFeel had to go back to base.
LazyFeel backed. But BNK are just going to set a trap. There's still a little bit of time here. That ward being cleared actually is a dead giveaway that they're obviously not doing it right now. Raptor's starting it up, but they will be able to muster up a contest, it looks like here. They're trying to slow play this where they actually have 2 on Baron and the rest are pushing the mid wave because Taeun is so big.
The Sky's Orb is such a weird position. It's not actually on the Baron.
Yeah.
They did use it from LazyFeel. He threw it into that brush onto the side, but it looks like BNK FEARX are going to back away. As, all right, there is a little bit of a repel onto the fire kick. The charm is going to go wide as now Ucal
is going to hit some of these Qs.
For a few of these Qs, exactly right. Some ultis back up and available very, very soon, namely Taeun's.
It's got that damage.
And LazyFeel, 3 seconds.
Ucal's mana is at a precarious position as well here. If he runs out of steam, it could be a huge problem. And they may just have to let this Ocean Dragon go. But when so much of your damage is in this Ucal poke, it feels so bad. We're 40 minutes in this game, by the way.
Yeah, this is the 7th Dragon of the game. And it's game number 6. Oh, goodness me. Well, Clear has found Rich on a flank angle. The Dragon is down to 50%. Taeun finds that culling once again. And Willer is almost just dead. And now Raptor just goes forward. Now you've seen VicLa find the charm angle, but doesn't quite hit it. Needed a little bit of extra distance, and that's Ocean Soul over to BNK FEARX, but they claim no kills in the fight.
Now they can try to go Baron because they know everyone's backed away here. They have to deal with that mid wave, and there's just no answer. So they're going to get Ocean Soul, and they're going to get Baron. The good news for Kiwoom DRX is the Nexus is still alive, but that's about where it ends.
And there's no Elder available. That one's up in 5.5 minutes time. Let's have a look at this fight one more time.
So like they cannot actually get LazyFeel into position to carry this game. I feel like no matter what happens, like he's 2 levels down, Willer gets pushed back, and now he's just like, I gotta get out of here. Mikhail's here onto Ucal.
That's really, the charm.
Really help him out as he gets away. And Baron, Ocean Soul, which is great with this poke. And the poke, like, it's really potent if it hits onto a squishy target. When it hits onto, like, Shen, he doesn't really care right now. If it hits on a Raptor, he doesn't care right now. It's not even really hitting that hard. They need to burst somebody down. LazyFeel needs to actually be able to team fight. He's so far behind.
Yeah, Taeun has 6 items, and LazyFeel has 4.
Like, it might even be just the Taeun POM angle for this game alone with how much more he's been able to do than LazyFeel if they win. Look at the damage.
Yeah.
LazyFeel is less than half of his damage.
Oh, Clear might be in a little bit of trouble here. The old target the Shen tactic is a decent one as there's the teleport in from Ucal. Clear is flashing away. And now Ucal just put his teleport on cooldown for no reason at all. And this is going to be VicLa pushing into this inhibitor turret.
See, Ucal is super frustrated with this game right now.
Yeah.
Like, he has 8 kills. He's like, I can't do more. He's the only goal lead still this whole game. And his attempt there, because he's trying so hard, is going to cost him 2 inhibitors.
Yep. VicLa going to make short work of the top one as the inner had only just respawned, then immediately goes back down again. Taeun has the culling. Now he doesn't have the culling, but most of the enemies don't have their health bar. Ruthless Predator comes in. That is going to be CC Denial. thanks to Kellin, who throws down the ulti relatively early. LazyFeel with the Arc of Ruin is going to be in there, but these Nexus turrets going down so incredibly quickly as Ucal does find the Orbit Deception with the rebuttal, but the Nexus is exposed. Willer is going to get taken out. There goes Ucal as well. You can see his frustration as BNK FEARX will take the series. And Jankos, I guess, is only half a fraud at the end of the day.
Taeun! He just popped off. I mean, just watching